Do you have 10,000 Mpesa balance right now as you watch this video? Well, in case you're watching me from South Africa, Nigeria, Zimbabwe, and what have you, Mpesa is simply a mobile wallet. It's like a mobile banking. It's where we keep our money. By the way, you can just Google Mpesa. Mpesa is like a mobile banking where we usually have here in East Africa, in Kenya to be precise. Anyway, for those who understand exactly what I mean by that, let's continue. Okay, now, if you have 10,000 Kenyan shilling in your Mpesa right now, I'm going to ask a very simple question. How much did that money make you yesterday? How much did you make out of it yesterday, it being in your M-Pesa balance? Okay, fine. How much then did you make the day before? Okay, fine. Thank you. Okay, you're saying nothing. Then what do you intend to do with that M-Pesa balance that you're having right now, tomorrow, for you to make something out of it? Oh, another nothing. Fine. Now, you are the one who have been looking all the day long. Why? Do you remember there's something we usually say, the devil's workshop, or rather the empty mind or idle mind? Guess what it is? It's a devil's workshop. Now, what happens when you have idle mind? Remember that video that I said, or I made, and I talked about the idle money? That is exactly what I'm going to talk about today. And by the way, guess what? If you're watching me for the first time, this is Good Joseph. And guess what I do? I post a video each and every day, giving you small but very, very effective tips on how you can invest, grow your money, no matter how small it is. Go ahead and do this. I'm sharing this information for free. Go ahead and like the video. Make sure that you subscribe. Yeah, just hit that subscription button below there. It doesn't cost you anything. And make sure that you leave a comment on the comment section. Let's get into the business. Now, what do you do if you have that 10,000 with you as an M-Pesa balance right now? All right, now this is the point. You remember, or when I talk about investments, I'm glad that you usually like my videos, but you watch my videos, you never do any action, you've never started anything. If I ask a very simple question, do you have a money market fund? Let's even forget about other investments. Probably you don't have a rate, you don't have an index fund, you don't have a balance fund, you don't have a bond fund. Let's forget even about that. Let's talk about the simplest one. And I know you ask myself or yourself, why do you, Joseph, always talk about money market fund? Because I know the advantage of it. If there is something sweet on this world, as far as the investments are concerned, is MMF. Why? You get the interest each and every day. That money that is lying idle right now, that 10,000 that is lying idle right now, could have made you some cash yesterday, the other day. Tomorrow could have made you some cash, but it's lying idle. And by the way, guess what? You can access it next, any moment you want it. You can invest now and access it tomorrow. You can invest now, access it the other day. You can top up at any given moment. So instead of having that money lying idle in that particular wallet of viewers, let's say, by the way, do you know why? We usually recommend having something called emergency fund. Emergency fund is that money that you set aside just in case there is a rainy day. And don't set aside then it rains immediately. No, come on, set it aside. And once you set it aside, then guess what happens? Now that money, it's not only safe somewhere, but it's also making you some cash out of it. Now we are talking about you having the 10,000 with you. Okay, 10K. 10,000. Do you know in Kenya we have 25, 1, 2, 3, 25 MMF companies that you can be able, except one, only one you need a minimum of 250,000 to start. So except that one, you have the remaining 24 companies. You have companies that you can be able to invest. And guess how much? If you only have 5,000 with you, only 5,000. Guys, please, let's be practical. By the way, these videos that I make, yes, of course, I want to get views, but at the same time, I talk about real solutions. And by the way, yesterday someone sent me 7,000, it was 7,000? I don't know why it was 7,200. Somebody just sent me that money and told me, you know what, Joseph, just in Kenya we say kunywa chai. Kunywa chai means like, you go grab some coffee. You know, I'm so thankful because you showed me on how to invest and what have you. I'm so grateful now. I'm saving. I'm not telling you guys you should send me your money. By the way, if you want to send, it's no problem. My number is always on the description of that specific, this specific video. But the whole point is, please, what I talk about here are real things. There are things that you can be able to do. Even if you have 2,000, forget about even 10, even if you have 2, even if you have 3, you can get started. It is possible. So, you see, if you have only 5,000, you qualify for 99.99999% of all the money market fund companies we have in Kenya. We are talking about you having 10,000 in your wallet. Please, after this video, go ahead and pick a company of your choice. We have a lot of them. And if you do not know which one to join, there is a video that I made on this YouTube channel. Just go through the list of my all videos. Go check top 5 money market funds we have in terms of the market control. Pick one And the good thing is that all the ones that I discussed, you can qualify with as little as 5,000. Go put your money out there, my dear brother and sister. That money will be giving birth to small babies every day, every day, every day. All right, every day. There was such a lady who texted me and told me, Joseph, oh my goodness, I didn't know this. Imagine I I made some cash yesterday, and the other day I can actually literally follow how much I've been making each and every day. And let me tell you one thing: if there is sweet money, is the money that you make without you doing anything, and that is the genesis and the journey and the preliminaries of achieving what we call the financial freedom. That's how we do it. Remember, don't lose the track. We are talking about 10,000 in your M-Pesa. Go pick out of the 24 companies that we have. Pick one company, go open an account. Or the only thing that you need to do is to have 3 documents: KRA PIN, all right? KRA PIN, this is like, paying the taxes. In short, that's what I'm talking about. Go ahead and have yourself an ID. And the last thing you're supposed to have is to have something called your passport picture. I don't mean the passport picture for traveling. I mean a picture of you, okay? Now, when you have those 3 documents, you go ahead and open that account. And once you open that account, take this money, throw in there. And once you throw in there, of course, maybe let's say this money is for purposes of buying groceries and what have you. Maybe 4 of them, 4,000 out of the 10,000. Then, of course, don't take the 4,000 and put in that MMF. Take the 6,000 and throw it there. Let the 4,000 remain there. And this is what I'm going to tell you. This is what I'm going to tell you. The moment you get some cash lying idle in your M-Pesa, please think about, oh, wow, where can I throw this money? You put it out there. And by the way, we do have even a money market fund that you can start with as low as 100 shilling. That is less than $1. 100 shilling. So if maybe you're watching this video, and usually do this, we call it in Kenya vibarua. Vibarua means that this daily job, that this daily, allow me to use this term with all the due respect, the daily wages that you get each and every day. Maybe you do 1, 2, 3. Maybe you're a mason, you're a plumber, you are whatever. You get paid each and every day. So you can be throwing something continuously in that particular investment. And guess what? I've talked about what we call the most basic investment called the money market fund. You can get started on. And guess what? I have suggested that probably that money, you are putting it out there, and you are asking me this question. And I'm also making this video because people are asking me, hey, you know what, Joseph, what else can I have as an alternative of the M-Shwari? For those who are in Kenya, again, will understand what I mean by M-Shwari. M-Shwari, it's an investment. Let me just call it investment option that is given by this mobile banking, not really mobile banking, but rather by the mobile sort of, let me just say banking, whereby instead of having that money idle, you can put it in that wallet. It's like a wallet within a wallet, whereby it's giving you some interest. So what you can do, you can actually decide to take that money. If then you don't want to get into the MMF, you can put it in an M-Shwari. Though you'll get way less interest, you can simply just get that money into the what? Into a money market fund. Probably your will and wish is to start a business one day. Your will and wish is to get into the bonds and the bills. And you know you need 50,000 on bonds. You need 100,000 on the bills. You may not have that particular money. You can actually use the MMF as a wallet or as a basket to accumulate the money. All right, you accumulate it there, and once you reach the percentage or the amount of money that is needed, now you can get that money and you go invest it in a what? In that particular wallet that you want, or rather in that particular bond that you need, or that particular bill that you need. So all what you need to understand is that do not idolize this particular amount of money. And let me just give you a little bit of explanation what I mean by idle money. So something called idle money. See, when you idolize your money, it actually falls for any use. I repeat, when you idolize your money, meaning you have that 10,000 hanging somewhere, all right? Now, if you have that money hanging somewhere, it means it is not dedicated. It means it is not committed. I think that's the best term. And when it is not committed, then you end up buying anything that is perceived as if it's a need and yet it's a want. Let's say you are hanging somewhere, you see somebody selling fruits, it's quite of a nice and pleasing fruit. Guess what happens now? You buy that fruit, you buy with maybe say 50 shilling, it's no longer 10,000, we are talking about 9,950. You go ahead and maybe perhaps you realize, hey, guess what? I just want to grab myself maybe let's say a pair of flip-flops or whatever the thing it is, maybe that's another 200 gone. By the time you realize it's no longer 10,000, the amount of money that you are saving is no longer making you cash. It's actually going down. So what you're supposed to do, okay, is if you know you have a problem with using money. You know, there are people who says that the moment I show up in town with money, I don't go home with something. And if I do, I've actually used substantively amount of my money. So what you do if you realize you have that weakness, avoid or minimize as much as you can to have this item. You know why I'm saying this? You can see some guys have a very big Mpesa balance, and that money is just lying out there, and that money is not coming. Okay, if maybe you're accumulating to empty it in a bank or empty it somewhere for the purpose of achieving a certain goal or target, that's okay. That's amazing. You get what I'm saying? If you're accumulating to achieve a certain thing, if you're accumulating to empty in a bank for the purposes of maybe accumulating to reach a certain particular amount of money, there is nothing wrong. But it's just lying idle. You don't have any plan. You don't have, it's not for school fees. It is not for nothing. It's non-committed money. And then maybe you receive a call back at home. They ask you, hey, would you send us? And then you send because you just have it. You don't even know what you can do with it. By the time you realize you're actually squandering your money and money is going off your pocket. That is exactly what you're supposed to do. The next thing that you can do with this 10,000 that you have it in your Mpesa balance, ask yourself, out of this 10,000, how much can I risk? And when I say risk, I don't mean like it's that risk that it's almost 100% that you lose your money. No. What you can do is to go ahead and purchase something we call the stocks or the shares. Okay, you can even decide. Maybe say perhaps you're willing to take the, instead of instead of go to go and buy that is it called Air Max? Or J what, these shoes that these young people love much, instead of going buying that for maybe say 2,500 Kenyan shilling, how about you say this? Okay, at least I have a couple of pair of shoes in my house. So how about I take these 2,500 and I do this, what good Joseph says. All right, you pick 2,500 out of that amount of money, that is the 10,000, you channel toward acquisition of stocks. Do you know, you'll be shocked if I tell you, you can even buy stocks like you are almost buying 200 shares of one of the biggest bank. Actually, I think the third biggest bank in Kenya. I repeat, with only 2,500, you're almost buying 200 shares of the third biggest bank here in this country. Can you imagine that? Becoming one of the owners who owns shares or the stocks of this biggest bank. Yeah, I know maybe you'll be like, okay, fine, Joseph, I would love to buy, I would love to invest, but I do not know the steps on how I can use to purchase those stocks. How about you take that number of mine, text me, you get a booklet on shares or stocks. It is only to 8 shilling, and once you get that, you can get all the information on how you can be able to get started on investing on those stocks. All right, so you can get 2,500, and guess what, you can as well purchase other stocks. We have a lot of companies that you can purchase. At least you can tell people, or you can tell yourself, you don't have to tell anybody, that as I speak right now, all right, as I speak right now, I do have stocks. I do have 200 shares of particular company, and then the remainder of the amount of money, which is maybe say 60 or 85 or 75, you can now channel it toward the money market fund. Can you imagine this? You can have two investments. Number one, the 7,500 that you have, it's already in a money market fund. It is safe and secured. It's assuring you what we call the capital preservation. And then the 2,500, it is in stocks, because for God's sake, maybe you're not employed by the government. You're looking forward into one day having your own pension. How are you preparing for your retirement? Yeah, I know probably what you watching this video and you're 20 years old and I'm talking about retirement. You think like I'm talking about stories ajaba. Stories ajaba in Kenya simply means, you know, how can I even say it? You know, it's like I'm joking. It's like I'm speaking the language that you cannot understand and what if, or make up language or something. Okay. Now, the point is this, you're having two investments. The one that is a little bit riskier, and all we know is that the higher the riskier it is, of course, the higher the returns that you're gonna get. So if you can pick this one and put it out there and you can generate something out of it. Now, that is the basic things that we usually talk about. You can be able to invest, you can be able to grow yourself. But when you just have that money lying idle out there, it is neither making money for you, you know, it is neither making money for the company, or maybe it is, but you're not benefiting out of that. Can you just calculate those 27 shillings, those 7 shilling and 10 shillings that usually, you know, the transaction charges? If you were to accumulate that, if you were to have something that is actually earning the similar amount of money per day, then you're catching up with how much? You're catching up with what we call that transaction cost that are going out there. For now, there is an idea that I'm waiting around. Once it's given the green light, I'll come here and I will share with you, and it can be very, very transformative. Let me not talk much about it, but it's an idea that I'm actually working on it, and I'm also observing it. And once it's given a green light, You guys rest assured that I'll come here by God's grace, will, and wish. I'll come here and share that particular idea. But for now, if you have that 10,000, get yourself an MMF, get yourself some stocks out there, and guess what? If maybe you usually admire to invest on bonds, you have a way of getting yourself into bonds by simply using that Mpesa balance that you have of only 10,000, buying bonds or getting to the bond fund using these companies. You can start with as low as 5,000. You see, you have variety of things that you can start. You have MMF for you, you have the stocks for you, you have the bond fund, meaning you're getting the, can you imagine investing on bonds instead of 50,000 and 100,000, you're getting into this bond for with only 5,000. What an opportunity, my friend. What an opportunity that you can grab out there. So the point is this needs or requires a willing heart. You take action right now and immediately, then you propagate in doing it, and you can actually achieve as much as you can. I don't want to make this video as very much long, but just digest those information. And if you feel like maybe I should clarify most of the areas that I have not, maybe, then you can always let me know or the comment section. But for now, it's a goodbye. But don't forget this, in case in any way you would like to have a conversation with me, my number is always on the description of this specific video. How about you grab it, shoot me a call. There's an email there, okay? If you comfortable with emailing, you can shoot me an email, then we can be able to pick it up from there for a just of coffee's price. And don't forget, I have a lot of booklets. I have a booklet about stocks, MMF, about business plans. I have things to do with rates, about, just tell me which one you need. It's a copy, is only 280, and we can get started. From now, it's a goodbye, and see you in the next one.